Hey guys, Hobbs here, in the Eye of Eternity, fighting Malygos. Now this video, as I said, is going to be a gear update, so we're not going to focus on here. This is kind of like the end of where we're going to throughout the update. It's going to be over the last 20 days, and it's going to show how to, once you ding 80, some of the gear items you can get to get into Heroics, which then gets you into Nax, which then gets you here. So I'm going to drop this fight, and we're going to move on, and I'll show that later, to some of the gear ideas you can do to upgrade if you're a tank, and I also have some other things that if you're not a tank. So the goggles are a great thing if you are an engineer to get to the next set of goggles. Of course, whenever you do replace a headpiece, you want to put the head enchant on it. Now I know you can get a better enchant if you're revered with the Argent Crusade, which I'm not yet. I worked on a couple other factions first. So I headed down to the Caverns of Time, because I still had my privileges from before to get my head enchant. Of course, the Argent Crusade is just around the corner, and I will be upgrading again from there. The Argent Crusade gives you 37 stamina and 20 defense, so it is better than that one. You might have noticed I have the Mammoth mount. It's great for raids because you have a repair on the back, and you also have all your vendors on the back, so if somebody's out of reagents. The other thing too is you can carry a passenger on the back. One thing I love doing is jumping them off high cliffs because they think they're going to die, but the Mammoth has its own health bar, so it actually takes the hit for you, so you can basically jump off anything and live. The nice thing is you can carry 2 passengers with it. I did get revered with the Kirin Tor for this to save some money because it was originally 20,000 gold, but I bought it at 17,000 gold. I had the option of buying this the chopper, but the thing was I found the other one a bit more useful because you could carry 2 people instead of here seeing carrying 1, plus you had the vendors. Now back to the gear update. Now one of the first things I did when I hit 80 was I went and I got this quest, The Struggle Persists, which would get me one of these rings. The bottom right hand one was the tanking ring. It basically, if you go through the Oculus, you're going to finish a quest, and it is a quest chain. So this first boss, it's fairly simple. Stay away from the bombs. Every once in a while he'll do this, ground stomp, and then he will sometimes throw, I believe, a debuff on somebody, which AoEs people around them, so stay away from that person. Even though we take the ground stomp, though, you're not going to see people getting a lot of damage. I wasn't sure if I was ready for Heroics yet or not, considering when I had left Burning Crusade, I had been in Tier 4, and I've had a few blue upgrades, which you've seen in the videos past. Oddly enough, this was my only non-heroic I did, and then I jumped right into heroics after this. I'm going to show all the gear that drops, guys, because it's not just the tanking gear, especially if it drops randomly off the boss, because I know not everybody who watches this is a tank. So after you complete that quest, it's going to actually open up the chain, which if you complete the Oculus, you're going to finish the quest regardless. So you got to kill 10 of these guys, which is going to unlock the shield around the next boss. You fly from platform to platform, killing the drakes around. And also there are some in the center ring as well. You'll see in the background here, the bubble there, see the little sphere? That's where the boss is at, and he's protected by that shield. So once they're all dead, you can fly right up to him. You'll see all these little glowing orbs around him. They're going to have periodically this arcane damage that comes to them. So basically stay out of the lines of lightning and you're going to do just fine. Now one of the fun things with new content is you never know what you're going to expect. So it's been a lot of fun actually having this whole Wrath of the Lich King upgrade. And I feel that we've hit it a lot harder than we did in Burning Crusade because I was more focused on endgame content, where Burning Crusade I was more focused on just Hobbs' way of pulling and power leveling people. As I get geared up, you're going to find I'm going to move back into that, guys, as well. So for those of you who are fans of the old style of Hobbs' way of pulling, don't worry, that will come back. It's just right now, I want to get that gear advantage and level advantage to try to make the pulls as big as possible for you. The second boss, after you clear all the platforms on the outside, you basically pull them backwards because you'll see the frost traps on the ground. You want to move yourself out of there. Every once in a while he's going to teleport to the center, which you see the pillars around the left hand side. you want to hide behind the pillars when he teleports to the center. Now this is our first time, so one person didn't understand, and you'll see they ran that way. And unfortunately he's in the center, so he did take damage, and I believe he died. Yeah, there's somebody dead there. One little trick I learned too later is to pull him closer to the outside, because if he lays a frost trap right behind, or right at the pillar that you're hiding behind, you're actually going to be taking damage. So the healers either A, have to heal through it, or if you pull him around the side, the frost trap won't be there. Like, see how that pillar's got the frost around it? You want to kind of pull him more to the outskirts, so that way when it drops, it's not going to affect your hiding spot. Of course, it's rare that it does that, but still, it's one way to avoid it. Now, all this gear I'm getting, my goal as a tank is to get to 540 defense, and also have my stamina as high as possible, but I need 540 defense to be uncrittable. So after you kill that boss, the quest chain goes on. You do get a chance at a nice set of bracers. One of them happens to be a tanky one in the bottom right hand corner. So doing this quest, you're going to get 2 blues, possibly upgrades for you, especially if you didn't experience Tier 4, 5, or 6 content in the Burning Crusade. So now to the last boss, which you're actually going to use your drakes, and one of them's a tanking drake, one of them is, and 2 of them are DPS, and the other one's a healer. Our strategy was to use if you're a DPS, use a DPS. If you're a tank, use a tank. It's because what you're used to doing. You're used to healing, you're used to tanking, you're used to DPS. So that way, it was easy. You'll see we freeze them every once in a while, and when the drakes come, we've got 1 DPS assigned just to kill the drake saw, and then back onto the boss. Now, getting used to using drakes is handy, because as you'll see at the beginning of this video, we're fighting Malagos, and there is a point in the 3rd phase where you get to use drakes again. So he drops a cloth chest piece and a 2-hander weapon, which I did take the 2-hander. I haven't used it at all. I find being a prot pally, remember how I used to take out the 2-hander? Now I just find the 1 hand is fine, but it's always good to have. Got my bracers, then I started doing heroics. Started off with Heroic Utgard Keep and Heroic Nexus, because they are 2 of the easier ones. Now what I did at this point was I grabbed a sheet of paper, I put a column down the center, and on the left I went through each instance and I found out what upgrades I could get from heroic instances, because I was wanting to prepare my guy for Nax to tank, to be, 540 and as much as possible. And as I went through the different instances, if I saw I could get 1 gear or 2 gear upgrades in one, I'd put a 1 or a 2 beside that instance.